Hey, it's Scott Hammond, father of 9 kids, the author of The Everyday Dad, the Guide to Becoming a Better Father. Today to talk to you in Maui, Hawaii about what I call the narrative. What is the narrative? Everybody tells a story in their life about whatever the situation is, about today, about dinner, about politics, about a relationship, about a person. The truth is, most of our narratives are absolutely wrong. We don't have all the data, we don't know the people, we don't know the situation. How can we possibly profess to know everything about a story, a situation, or a person? So I'm here today to suggest 2 things. One is that we need an openness going forward to not give in to the temptation of telling the narrative about a day or about a person or about somebody else's story. That we need openness to consider the possibility that I may not know it all. I just don't know the whole story. And to be okay with that and not to give in to the temptation to try to explain everything. Because, frankly, you don't need to. You don't need to give the whole story about something. Maybe you could just cruise through life and be sort of going, that's kind of interesting. So there's 2 negatives here. There's external narration, explaining the external situation. Oh, that flower's red and that thing over there is that way because. And then there's the internal narration, which is really danger zone. This is where you're in trouble because now you're starting to explain my heart, my motivation, other people's attitudes. How do you know? Because I don't. You don't. Maybe God does. Of course God does, but we don't. So there's a quote from a movie I love with Steven Seagal. It's Under Siege, Dark Territory. It's the second one. The guy goes, "Assumption is the mother of all screw-ups." So don't make false assumptions. Don't vilify others. Don't vilify the world or your culture or some person because you are tempted to give their external and internal narration. You can't. How could you possibly know? A couple of solutions. Be an open, lifelong learner. Be open to new data because about the time you have it all figured out, you just figured out this other new piece that totally dispelled your whole narration. Number 2 is try to hold back and reserve judgment. There's no reason for you to have to judge that person. Judge, jury, and sentence them. Why? There's no need to. And lastly, catch yourself when you're spinning in negativity. When you're spinning a narration that's a negative narration and you're Debbie Downer and you don't like that situation and goodness gracious sakes alive, that's a terrible person and this is why they're that. Stop. Take a deep breath. Give folks the benefit of the doubt because you want them to do that for you, right? I know I do. Anyway, I hope that helps. Don't be Debbie Downer. Don't do the negative narration. Be aware of internal and external narrations that are all wrong. Be open to new data. And don't give in the temptation to write your own negative narration where none is needed. Have a great positive day. Scott Hammond, the author of The Everyday Dad, the Guide to Becoming a Better Father, wishing you a great day from Maui, Hawaii.